You have three main strands to your performing career, Ellie, as a solo singer, choral singer, and as already said, conductor. Tell us a little bit about how you developed yourself as a singer.
Um, well, as I said, I came to singing quite late, relatively in comparison with violin and piano. And up until that point, I'd never really thought about music as a career at all. So it all happened quite quickly. And it was a combination of other people being like, this, you're quite good at this. This is something you should consider. And then I joined the choir at Bexley. It's now Berg College Music Service, but it was Bexley Music Centre. And I joined that and started singing with them. And actually, my younger sister was already in the choir. Then I joined and we went on some tours and things. And that was how it all started, really. I was very lucky to be given lots of performance opportunities at school, as I said. There was a sort of legendary summer jazz concert. So I always had jazz in my life. And like I say, with the early influence of Ella Fitzgerald and lots of Gershwin and stuff, I've always loved singing jazz standards. So it wasn't just the classical side of things. And I remember when I first joined the school choir, I was 15 or 16, and I joined it was called the Madrigal Group, although they sang basically anything, but it was like the sixth form choir with a few select younger members. And I first joined, and my sight reading was shockingly bad. And I remember being very frustrated because I could sight read on the violin. I knew what all the notes were, and I knew what it should be, and I just couldn't make it happen. I couldn't translate that to my singing, and everyone around me was doing it, and I just thought, this is so hard. But it's amazing how quickly that it all clicked, because I had all of the musical knowledge there. It was just learning to put it into my voice rather than to do the fingerings on a violin. So very, very quickly, I became a member of the this older choir, and I remember feeling very sort of intimidated, but also really chuffed that I was singing in the older choir. And we went on an amazing tour to Italy when I was, quite young, and got to sing in these incredible venues and places that I've been back to since that I just fell in love with. So yeah, it was sort of all very quickly, really. And then obviously, going to Trinity, I had some singing lessons with teacher Laureen Livingstone, who's incredible, and later with Tessa Carhill, also incredible, and she's now become a dear friend. And all the stuff with the choirs there. And another thing was that when I went to Trinity, I auditioned for the jazz choir because I just wanted to keep a bit of jazz in my life. And the head of jazz is who I auditioned for, and you had to do a bit of improvisation as part of your audition, which, although I'd never sort of learnt it as such, I had a bit of experience. I'd had a few jazz singing lessons with Will at school, and I had quite a good ear. And he invited me to come along to the jazz course improvisation classes for a year, even though that wasn't my course, which was a terrifying experience. Each week you had to transcribe a solo, an improvised solo, and then you had to perform it, and then you had to improvise on the chords whilst everyone played in a circle. And it was great, but it was hard, and everyone else overtook me quite quickly because they were doing all of the other jazz classes that I wasn't doing. But that was a lovely experience, and through that I met one of my very best friends, who I'm supposed to be running a singing holiday with in July in France, but that does not look likely this year anyway.
Sounds like a lovely idea. Tell us about your third piece of music.
So my third piece of music is John Williams' Flight to Neverland. I love John Williams as a composer. I think he's incredibly clever, and there are so many pieces of his music that I love. But Hook was a very important film for me growing up. I think my sister and I actually wore out the tape, and my dad had to go out and buy another one. We loved it so much. And whenever I listen to the Flight to Neverland, it takes me right back to that sort of magic of being young. And I still love the film Hook. I don't think I'll ever get bored of it.